This is Robert with Pioneer Smokehouses, and today we're going to try a seasoning that I got from one of the trade shows, and it's Guerra's seasoning, and it's kind of a Hispanic kind of blend, so it kind of has that limey taste to it. It goes well with things like apples, and we tried that with the fresh fruit at the show, but also the creator and his family were there, and they said that the best thing to use this on was something like ribs. I'm not doing ribs today, but I definitely want to do a couple of racks of ribs on the Smoke Hollow Pellet Grill. Now, I went ahead and I preheated this and I set it up to 300, and it went about 10 degrees over. So I think that that's kind of the normal overshoot for this grill now that I'm getting a little bit more used to it. Set it about 10 degrees under what your target temperature is, let it heat up all the way, and then after the whole grill gets balanced out in temperature, it'll drop down a little bit, and then you can just adjust it back up a touch. Now, what we're going to use today for today's cook is just some chuck. Now, I like to take a thin chuck roast and cut my own steaks, but you could also just use thicker chuck steaks and it would work out just fine. I don't like to smoke thin meat, and preferably not at all with like a chuck or something like that, because it just doesn't hold together, because it's, I don't know how to describe it, compartmentalized, so the pieces aren't all in one solid grain cut. They're just kind of random almost. But here I have taken the piece of chuck that I have and I've trimmed it out and cut it into 3 pieces, and then I've lightly seasoned it. I think that actually that's not enough seasoning after looking at it and letting it set for a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and hit it with a little more. I put a little bit on the edges, but I don't like to overdo it on anything that's a steak size on the edges, because it gets a little strong. You got plenty on the top face, and if you have a bunch on the side too, then it just gets a little out of control. Just do it like that, shake it around a little bit, make sure there's nothing loose, and look, it's stuck perfectly fine. I'm going to go ahead and pop this in there, and we have stabilized out at exactly 300 now. I already have a piece of foil in here, and I have a grill mat. I'm just going to go ahead and set this on the grill mat. I have noticed that the warmest spot is almost directly right here, just a little off the center. So I put the thickest one there and the thinnest one on this side. And you can run your hand across real quick and you can feel that, but really the biscuit test is the only way to know for sure. Now I'm going to go ahead and run this for a few minutes, and then I'll flip them over, and after I flip them, I'll put in the thermal probe into the thickest piece. So we'll be back in a few minutes for me, but 1 second for you. And just like that, we're back. It's been about 25 minutes, maybe a couple more than that, but when I came back out and looked at it at 15, I thought it needed a minute or 2 more before I was ready to flip it. So I grabbed some cheap tongs. Normally I would just do everything with gloves, but at 300 is where I start to get uncomfortable. Very nice and soft. Just gonna flip that over. At 300, you can see a little bit of charring on the bottom there, which is great. I like to have that. It adds a little extra flavor. This video is really not about that procedure. It's more about the flavor of the seasoning. Then I'm going to take this, I'm going to grab that, and I'm going to put it right through the side and try to level it right into the middle. I want to end up right in the center of that piece of meat. And I'll go ahead and turn that on. And I have the alarm set at 195, but we're not going for 195. We're going to go for 130. And then we'll rest it up to 135. It'll run up right about 5 degrees more on a small meat at this temperature. The higher the temperature and the bigger the meat, the more thermal mass and more heat will transfer over a longer period of time. A smaller piece the heat moves faster, but less of it is stored up inside because of less mass. So right now, 115, and I'm going to keep an eye on this and just hang out right here. I might actually lower the alarm and just sit out here and read? No, never mind. Watch YouTube videos. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and cut to the video that I took at the trade show, and then you can meet the man behind the seasoning. This is Robert with Pioneer Smokehouses, and we're taking a look at the Guerra seasoning, and we'll let this gentleman take it away.
Oh my gosh, I will take it away. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Lino Guerra, with the rest of my family, Geraldo, Gilda, and Christopher. And there's 4 in the family with Aaron and Fabian, who all helped us in our farm and everything. But anyways, I just want to introduce you to Guerra's Gourmet Seasoning, that we've been doing this for quite a while, since established in 1989. But this gentleman wanted to buy this for us, but we did came out here because we wanted to do something special, unique, and we are from the Yakima Valley, and we are chili pepper farmers. We produce, we grind, and we product our Guerra's Gourmet Seasoning in this. This year we came out with another 4-pack, meaning that this one is a natural original seasoning that we came out the beginning. The second one we came out with an extra hot that we came out this year, especially with our rice seasoning that my wife established and produced this year, but she was doing that. And also we came out with the habanero seasoning, and that is used for mainly for ice cream, baking, and that's what we do a lot. So, but this started by doing it by, I was making pico de gallo, and I wanted to do something. That's how I started with the original recipe with pico de gallo, Guerra's Gourmet Seasoning. And I've been doing meats, I've been doing fish, chicken, everything from what you can see on our pictures here. And today he is going to try it on his favorite meat this year with Guerra's Gourmet Seasoning. Go ahead.
So we'll go ahead and give this a run on the pellet smoker when we get home, and we'll try it probably on some ribs because that's what we had here. Now also, when I tried the samples of it, I tried it on a fresh apple, which is a really good mix for a smoky seasoning like this, and also the other one on a piece of salted caramel. So we'll catch you in the next video when we show you how to use this, and the links to their store will be below in the description. So if you can hear that, the alarm is going off, and it's currently 1:29, so we're just waiting for it to get right there. I'm going to go ahead and pause that. 1:30. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the pellet smoker in shutdown mode. So what it's going to do is it's going to keep on blowing on the fire and burn up the rest of those pellets. We could just let it go for a second here, but when it does that, usually the temperature goes up just a little bit, so be aware of that. I'm going to go ahead and pull that out and set it on this plate here. So I'm going to show these to you here. You can see this is the thick one. This is where I had the temperature probe. So this one here is going to be completely done. I'm going to go ahead and plug my burner in. As soon as it starts to warm up, I'll go ahead and throw the pan on there. While I do that, let's go ahead and cut this. I want you to keep in mind that this is rare, and this is a little under what I normally eat it. See that there? That's good. I'm glad I put the second coat on there, because had I not, it wouldn't have been enough seasoning. Needs some kick for me. If you like mild, this is probably perfect for you. I either need some jalapeno powder or some black pepper. Either one would be good, maybe even a little cayenne. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on there, and I'm gonna have another bite while I'm waiting for that. So we'll just take a little break here while I eat this little piece. I'll be right back. So the pan's just about ready, and the pellet smoker just completely turned off. So I'll go ahead and flip that switch off, and it's off for the night. I will take the grill mat out and toss it in the dishwasher. Hopefully I won't have to scrub it. Usually I don't. Something like a pulled pork, usually that requires a little bit of scrubbing because it usually sticks to the grill mat a little bit. And then if you get a lot of sugars in your rub, that'll do the same. Now, the pan has a little bit of olive oil spray in it and some butter. And then I just turned the element on high, which is medium high at best on a regular stove. And then I'll start, just like I did with the grill, is I will put the thickest piece in first. And then the next size. And then the next one. The idea is I just want to caramelize the outside just a little bit, and the addition of the butter is really where it's at. And I like to add the olive oil because olive oil is a really mild flavor, and it will prevent anything from sticking. And mixing with the butter, it'll raise the burning temperature just a little bit. If I want to raise it more, I'll use a different oil like a canola or something. It's going along really good. Also, you could throw this on your propane grill if you wanted, but I would give it a light spray of the olive oil before putting it on the propane grill. Not a lot, just enough to coat the outside. So I decided to grab my camera here, and I'm going to go ahead and take a little video while I flip this. I just want you to see it sizzling along there. We'll switch over to that one. We're just going to cook this for a minute on this side, and then I'll go ahead and pull it off. And I'm going to save 2 of these for dinner, and the other one I'll sample a little bit more. The way I'm going to save these, because that's going to be more than an hour, is I'm going to put them in the sous vide at 135. That way it'll hold it at absolute temperature, and it'll stay exactly like that and exactly with that cooking temperature. Also, when you leave it at that temperature, the meat will actually break down just a little bit more. Going to go ahead and roll this just a little bit. Put that on there. The goal here is just not to overcook it. Show you another piece. Still just right on the edge of the rare, just a medium rare now. So the addition of the butter gives a nice little toasty butter nutty taste almost. And it really helps with the moisture of the seasoning, because the seasoning was just a little bit dry on the coating, which can not be the most pleasant taste when you kind of take the dry seasoning directly on your tongue. But with that butter there, it moistened it up and it added that extra layer of flavor. So I am definitely going to do another cook with this. This is some really good stuff here. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And I'm going to put the website for this right below here and also in the description. Below that will be affiliate links for Amazon. And if you use those, I will get compensated, so I appreciate it. But I think that this seasoning has definitely passed the test. My wife really, really liked it on the apples, and that's her thing. My thing is the meat. So thanks for watching, and have a great day.